So in the flavor of the mission of the Cliburn, I wanted to discuss classical music performance from the angle of a non-professional musician. For example, myself, I'm not a professional musician, although I have a lifelong love of music. I do believe that you don't necessarily have to be the most skilled musician. As I am, I'm not the most skilled musician. I'm not the most versed in the whole repertoire, the historical repertoire of music, and also the lexicon of professional musicianship. However, I have that love and enthusiasm and excitement about music. I like delving into why pieces of music and performers and performances make us react in certain ways or touch us in certain ways or evoke certain feelings. That I find is something that's interesting, miraculous, and almost can't be described, but can be experienced. I wanted to do a video highlighting my reaction on some of the performances from the Cliburn 2025 competition. I wanted to spotlight some of the performers that may not have advanced to the final round, who I felt had excellent musicianship and in their own right were fantastic artists. So Angel Stanislav Wang performed the beautiful, famous Rachmaninov 3 concerto as one of his final concertos. And that got me thinking, how does that compare to Yunchan Lim's Cliburn performance of Rachmaninov 3? What do you think? Who played it better? Let's take a look at them side by side. Of course, one of the more exciting parts of the concerto is the last couple of minutes. Definitely showing his passion, his attack, his intensity. Random award for the longest hug from conductor. The Lehuf Award. Very interesting. The angel shines in these grandiose, epic pieces. That's, I think, one of his strong suits. These pieces suit him very well. He definitely brought the power, the passion, the intensity that this piece deserves. And I was interested to see how Marian Osip, the conductor, would interact with him after the performance. And she seemed very pleased as well with the performance. Okay, let's look at the epic performance from Yunchan Lim's competition performance. See how it compares. Random award for shortest pause between end of performance and hug from conductor. The Spabio Pahavka Award. Wow, breathtaking. That iconic moment where Yunchan Lim turns to the orchestra and almost talks to them in terms of saying, "Come on, you guys, let's go. We've got this." It's just incredible. And then at the end, when Marian Osip just embraces him, I feel that she had confidence in him and knew that he could do this. Obviously, I'm biased here. I love Yunchan Lim. I'm a fan. I also love Angel Stanislav Wang. I do feel that Yunchan brings that extra level. I felt his confidence. He was in control of the performance. I felt his passion come through. The sensitivity at parts where he needed to be. The swelling, the emotion, the emotional rise up and down with the orchestra. I felt he was sympathetical with the orchestra. What do you prefer? Do you prefer Yunchan Lim's performance? Do you prefer Angel Stanislav Wang's performance? Chaeyoung Park. I think she was underrated in the competition. Her programming spanned Baroque classical to Romantic classical to more modernist classical, and it showed her well-roundedness as a musician. I thought it was interesting that both Chaeyoung Park and Aristo Sham played the Beethoven Hammerklavier. So I wanted to compare that. And they also both chose in one of the sets of competitions, I believe Aristo Sham performed in the quarterfinals a Bach piece. And then Chaeyoung Park performed the Bach Hess beautiful Jesu, the Man's Desiring in her semifinal round. So I wanted to compare those two pieces of music between the two artists and do a sort of fun, not who wore it best, but who played it best. Let's start with Chaeyoung Park and listen to a little bit of the Beethoven Hammerklavier. Very beautiful. Now let's listen to Aristo. Undeniably, both musicians accomplished musicianship. I felt a little slight edge given to Aristo because he approached it with, I feel, a little bit more confidence. But I'm still a fan of Chaeyoung, a great fan of hers. And if she were to perform a concert in my city, I would go see her. Now let's look at both Bach performances by Aristo and Chaeyoung. Very beautiful. I have a personal preference. Again, artistry and music is so subjective and personal. I felt that her choice of this song definitely felt very personal. I had an emotional connection to her. And so for that reason, and it's also one of my favorites. So I give Chaeyoung a little bit of an edge over Aristo's Bach selection. I do have to preface this by saying that Aristo, his approach to the early Baroque and classical is unmatched. The cleanness of the voicing and the delicate lines that he brings out in his approach is just beautiful. So pure, brings out the innocence in Mozart. The way that he plays around with the phrasing, just a very enchanting performance. I couldn't stop listening to it. So clean, yet very interactive with the orchestra, cooperating with them, keeping an eye on the conductor and the orchestra, having that interaction with them. Ooh. There you go. There are the runs. That line is so beautiful. I could stop listening to the whole concerto, but that one whole run, it just seemed to go on forever, and then finally ending in that trill. So beautiful. It just goes to show, don't have to practice silly hand-on or your scales. Just pick up Mozart and practice Mozart for the runs, everyone. The delicateness and the innocence that he portrays, and the clean runs and the trilling is just impeccable. I wanted to spotlight Carter Johnson. He demonstrated also a full spectrum of the early Baroque to classical to Romantic to the classical modernist. And he also demonstrated, especially in his individual recitals and in his concertos, that he can play virtuosically. I thought it'd be an interesting point for comparison because he also chose to play a Bach piece in his preliminary round, and to see how that differs from Aristo and Chung-Yuen Park's interpretations of Bach. Beautiful. You can see he's experienced it very deeply, very emotionally. It's quite a personal piece. This piece has a common name called On the Departure of a Beloved Brother. It's a toss-up. As a non-professional musician, I think all three, Aristo and Carter Johnson and Chaeyoung Park, performed the Bach beautifully. Another contestant who I wanted to see advance into the finals and who I thought deserved more spotlighting than he got was Jonas Aumiller. He did his own transcription of Liszt's Les Préludes, the symphonic poems, and it was just incredible. The octaves, the transpositions. Just fantastic. I so appreciate it. I thought it was wonderful. Like, who says classical music can't be improvisational? He brought fun. I love that creativity. I hope the judges would have appreciated and embraced that more, but they have their penchants and their preferences as well as artists. I had hoped that maybe the judges would have appreciated the creativity a little bit more. But as an audience, I thought it was just fantastic. Another contestant I think deserves to be spotlighted. She made it into the semifinals, but not into the finals. Yunchan, and this performance from her preliminary round is just insane. I don't really have a penchant for the dissonance, but just like the physicality of her performance, sir. She's just literally getting up from the bench, playing off of the bench, standing up at the end, just jumping up from the bench. It's just amazing. Random award for the most acrobatic and physical playing. The MAP award. Both Chaeyoung Park and angel Stanislav Wang performed the Stravinsky Firebird. So let's take a look at them side by side and see who performed it best. Wonderful. She was able to show her virtuosity and the breadth of her repertoire by going to Stravinsky. So now let's take a look at Angel, Stanislav Wang. Definitely does look like that he was spent after that performance. Definitely a showpiece and put a lot of power and energy, and it showcased again his virtuosity. Angel really enjoys sinking into these meaty, epic, grand pieces, and that's where he shines. What do you think? Did you enjoy Chaeyoung Park's performance or Angel's performance of the Firebird? So there you have it. My picks for some of the most memorable performances from the 2025 Cliburn competition. What do you think? Did the judges get it right? Are there performances that you think are must-see? And do you think that there are some artists that deserve more spotlighting? Write them in the comments below. And if you love content like this and you want to see more, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so that you never miss a new video when I post it.